And still on that, Kandara MP Alice Wahome's tongue-lash against the president has reawakened what appears to be a simmering bitterness in one of the strongest proponents of the president in the run-up to the 2017 general election. Wahome, a lawyer, had been vocal in defending Kenyatta's re-election that saw her go to the extent of physically engaging an election returning officer in her constituency. Well, one wonders what could have gone so wrong in 2 short years that a loyal MP has lost favor in her principle. Well, Sam Gituku takes a look at Alice Wahome, the now abrasive politician.
You filed the report you want. Let us go. We are doing your work. I'm handing over this to you. Let's go in here. There is nothing I'm going to do.
She had almost managed to carve a quiet posture in her first term as Member of Parliament for Kandara in the 11th Parliament. At the expiry of the term came the general election of August 2017. A nullification of President Uhuru Kenyatta's re-election caused a stir in the ruling party, and so the Kandara MP appeared here so aggrieved that she literally took matters into her own hands.
I am waiting you to work. They say you are not working. You people are not working. There is nothing I'm not changing. I'm not going to change anything. I have done.
Her main challenge then was that results of some of the polling stations in Kandara were not reflective of the people's vote. The returning officer claimed he had waited for Wahome at the constituency tallying centre for too long, that he chose to do what the law allowed him, to state that the presidential agent was absent. And that was not acceptable.
Even during the general elections, I knew he had some personal challenge himself in terms of relations, interpersonal relationships, but I decided to focus on the job ahead of us.
And she had a view over the clip that was trending on the internet.
The clip has been taken out of context. We had worked very well with him, and I had made requests which were falling on deaf ears. Actually, I would say, if you watch the clip without any bias, you will find that his own conduct, the loud remarks and shouting he's making, is actually distasteful, and he's playing to the gallery. I didn't fight him. We disagreed. We had a push and shove. That is expected during elections.
Her main interest was to defend the vote of a man she believed in.
I will give you copies of Form 34A that shows that Uhuru Kenyatta acquired 0 votes by mistake, by error. I don't know now, looking at the whole incident, whether this was a designed scheme to deny Uhuru Kenyatta his rightful votes.
2 years, 2 months later,
that the biggest existential threat to Kenya's declining economy and democracy and freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of political affiliation and growth is Uhuru Kenyatta.
Just 3 days earlier, Wahome had told the president off in his face at Charles Rubia's burial.
It is important the fear of the 90s does not clip into this particular era. I'm saying there are people who are starting to say there are threats, there are calls, there are what. I think, Your Excellency, that cannot and should never be your legacy. And I think Rubia would want us to protect the space and democracy that was acquired.
But what happened in the 2 short years? Alice Wahome has been a proponent of Deputy President William Ruto since the March 2018 handshake and the subsequent fallout. A critic of the government's crackdown on corruption, and vocal in the Inua Mama initiative, a women political grouping pro-Ruto's 2022 ambition. Her tolerance has been waning, mostly wearing a grin on her face while championing what she believes in.
We are losing the war on corruption, that's what I would say, because it's most of it, the way you have seen, it's selective justice, it's politically motivated. Kenyans are not daft anymore, and they can see that there is a very skewed and selective manner in which they pick which judge, which governor, which MP, member of parliament, which Kenyan, which public servant, how are they affiliated.
Just recently, social media users criticized the MP in a photo claimed to be of the toilets at Karigoni Primary School, a school in her constituency. And she responded with gloves off. A post from the account reading, quote, "I challenge those who have commented to tell me where in my contract as an MP I was given the job of fixing school infrastructure. Then you will make sense. Wajinga nyinyi. Haters."
But I trended because I called somebody Jinga Wewe, because I was reminding him, look, the shame is ours, it's our country, we are fixing where we can, and I believe this will be done. So I traded for the wrong reason. I don't want to trade for another wrong reason.
So help me God.
She stood for the candidature of Uhuru Kenyatta in 2017. She has now pledged her commitment to William Ruto's 2022 bid. It's only 3 days into the year, and Alice Wahome appears one ready to rabble-rouse in 2020. Sam Gituku, Citizen TV, Nairobi.